What's up, folks? This is Briston from Briston Gaming. We are back with another episode of 7 Days to Die Mods Weekly, the show up figure out what mods are good for you. And this week, as you guys can see here, we have a cool week ahead of us. We're going to cover some really nice mods, but before we jump anything, I do want to say thank you, mod authors, for all the cool work that you guys do. There have been so many mods coming out lately. It's crazy. And also, thank you, community members, for the support. It does mean the world does. And also, we're going to make a little announcement here. Lunabug was originally going to do this episode. She's still a little nervous. She's okay playing and talking to people, but doing presentations like this still kind of nerves her out. But we are going to be doing more episodes of Pro Husband Noob Wife with games like The Division, Conan Exiles, 7 Days to Die on PlayStation 5, stuff like that. So if you guys like those kinds of things, be on the lookout. We will be having new stuff coming out. And also, if there's anything you guys want to see content wise, be it mods, games, stuff like that, please reach out to us. Let us know. You can find us on Discord, email, stuff like that. But now we're going to go ahead and jump into the mods. And the first mod, as you guys can see here, is the Mod Manager by Phil _. And we're sitting here on the main screen like this, and it's really cool because now you see we click on mods, we go ahead and click on it, and we have a list of mods that we have installed. Now this is fantastic if you play like we do with a bunch of little modlets and stuff installed. So you can actually go through and have everything in one little area, and you can click on them and you can either say view the mod folder or view the website. But you also see here it says this is what the mod does. So we've got the mods we're going to cover, some of the mods we're going to cover in this episode, that says like backpack, what they do, stuff like that. Mod Manager, what it do. We can also visit the websites for these, and it shows right here for Mod Manager, the GitHub website where we could actually go and check for updates and stuff like that. And the same thing with all of these, it shows the websites where we could get updates, things like that, information. So it's really cool to be able to have something like this. Yes, there are the individual, like the big Mod Manager where you can download a lot of the overhauls and stuff like that, but I prefer this version. Lunabug prefers this version because we play with a lot of modlets, and it makes it easier with this to go through and manage to see what mods we have installed, when they need to be updated, or if they have updates and stuff like that. We can enable or disable on some of these. Like this one, we could enable or disable stuff like that. Well, except for the Mod Manager, we can't disable because we're working with it. But not only that, so if we come in here and we go to continue, if I select on one of these, it actually gives you a notice to say, hey, this previous map had these mods installed. Do you want to continue with new or other mods installed? Maybe it could cause problems, maybe it won't. But it's a nice little notification to say, hey, you did have these mods installed on this previous save. I like this because it's really saved us from making mistakes and overwriting stuff when we shouldn't have. But with that, we're going to go ahead and jump into the next mod. Alright folks, like you guys saw in the previous mod, this is the super cool FPS Trash to Treasures by FatRap45. And this is a fantastic mod that lets you take parts or magazines or batteries or solar cells that you wouldn't, and you would always have a use for solar cells, but it lets you take stuff and turn them into these FPS parts boxes that you can either sell, and it scales exponentially as they eventually continue to grow. I think a stack of like 3,000 parts sells for something like 90,000 or 900,000 dukes, which is just insane. But let's say you're not a sledgehammer person. Well, you could sell the sledgehammer parts for dukes, or same as like spears. You're not a spear guy, you're not a robotics parts guy or a robotics guy, and you're not a knife guy. Well, you could turn these items, if you click on recipes, you could turn them into an FPS parts box. And then of course you could sell them for more dukes, especially because the knife guy, it only sells for 20, and then 2 of these sells for 60. So if you got 2 magazines, you're making a profit of 20 dukes. But if you continue to build these up and you click on recipes for the parts boxes, you can see that we can craft dyes and stuff with them, which is fine. Or you could craft a Desert Vulture without having to be spec'd into it. You can craft a 4x4 truck without having to be spec'd into it. Same with the machine gun, the auto shotgun, the battery banks, the bicycles, bottles of acid, a generator bank, a gyrocopter, even more lead car batteries, motorcycle, repair kits, robotic sledges, turrets, shotgun turrets, SMG turrets, an SMG or a assault rifle or a solar cell or a solar bank. So it's really cool to be able to have this because you don't have to spec into these items anymore or worry about collecting those magazines to be able to craft these things, so long as you just keep crafting or keep turning your unwanted stuff into the FPS parts boxes. Now, we've talked about that because it has this unique icon here. It is not a server side mod, so anybody you play with would have to have it installed too, but it is still a fantastic mod because you can actually turn items, weapons parts, armors parts, batteries. I wouldn't do solar cells, but like car batteries, yes. Books, if you don't play a particular way, like if you're not a knife guy, XP in this game is super easy to get. So I would actually think to turn these, instead of reading them, turn them into the parts boxes and then look at crafting turrets with them, or the gyrocopters, or the motorcycle, because as you see, you don't have to have those perks unlocked. You don't have to have the same unlock method to craft them with the parts boxes. It's a lot better this way. It's also a lot worse in a sense, because if you want to craft a Desert Vulture or an AK or an auto shotgun, you're only getting the level 1 version. So you would actually want to spec into crafting those types of items to get you that higher quality item. But for the 4x4s, the vehicles, the workstation type stuff like the generator bank or the battery bank or even the turrets and stuff like that, it's a lot better to go this route than it is to try to worry about the magazines and stuff like that, because this just makes it ridiculously easy to deal with. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move over to the next mod. Alright folks, so this next mod is the Realisitc Backpacks version 2 with HUD by Sarah and Jeff / Jeff the PC guy. And this is a really cool mod. Unfortunately, there are some compatibility issues between this one and the previous mod, but you can work around that by tweaking the load order to have this one load after Trash to Treasures, because they both work on the recipe XML. So you want to have this one load last, so it's the last one to make the change. But that aside, it's a fantastic little mod that really changes the HUD, and I kind of like it a lot, the way that it looks. You have a nice little counter down here for your dukes to show you how much money you have. It tweaks the backpack to give you a full-on 70 slot backpack. You have 10 slots unlocked by default. Then you have 4 backpacks-ish that you can, because the fanny pack's not really a backpack, but it has 4 mods that you can put in a chest piece. So if we go ahead and open the chest piece here, we see the fanny pack. We click on it, it gives us a carrying capacity of 15% or 15. The small backpack gives us 30, the medium 40, and then the large one carrying capacity of 70. So we can actually set these in, and then hey, come on. And then if we equip this, we have higher slots. And then if we go ahead and we modify it again and we take that out and we put that one in, you see now we have bigger slots again, and it just keeps going up to where when you put the large backpack in, it actually does do a full increase. But not only that, it actually has a visual representation on your character. So I actually like that when you're playing with friends and stuff like that. Again, because it does this, it is not as a server side mod. You actually have to have this with everybody. But it is really cool to see that it's like this because, like I said, you've got a nice little visual effect. So if you're playing with friends and stuff like that, everybody has this installed. You can see who has what kind of backpack. So if you're out and about looting and you find one of these, you can actually give your friend, hey, it's like, hey, I've already got a large backpack. You need one. Here you go. Just at a quick glance, you can tell what kind of backpack they're wearing. Again, that's kind of why I like this. But also the HUD is pretty clean. I like the way that this looks. I like how everything is kind of shifted. You see we have a much larger crafting queue and stuff here. We have a nice backpack size. The inspect window is shrunk down and kind of I had a brain fart. I can't remember what word I was thinking of there, but it's really nice the way that it looks. We have a nice little compass, nice little line on it, the day, the time, everything. It's just kind of crisp, clean. Reminds me a lot of the Aurora Gilgo Fairy HUD Plus. But it's all in all, it's a really cool combo mod. There are versions where you can play with just the backpacks or just the HUD if that's what you wanted. I like having them both like this because it's you're playing with two really cool items. But if you already have a HUD you really enjoy and you want to try out the backpacks, then you can just do the backpacks as well. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move over to the next mod. Alright folks, so this next mod is the super cool Military Base by Daz83, and it's a really cool tier 4 POI that is set up for a clear, a fetch, infected, and restore power. However, getting it to spawn on the map is kind of a pain in the ass. You actually, at least I had to spawn it in manually. I couldn't get it to spawn in by itself, but both Lunabug and I love this because, one, it is a big POI. Two, it's all concrete, and you can actually turn this into a really cool base for yourself. You can actually make this into a really nice survivor base where you can do all kinds of cool stuff. I don't actually know why that's like that, but you see like the truck kind of weird way that it's like folded in there. But you have a good underground little area here. You have a lot of ground where you can have, for friends and stuff, all different kinds of stuff set up. We actually turned this into, on one of our little play tests, we turned this into a horde base where this entrance here was where the zombies came in, and we had just a straight run through, a bunch of traps, dart traps, stuff like that here. They came in this way, and then there was more stuff set up here. They came this way, and we actually stood, I think we knocked out that bar there, and we just had a little platform up here where we could stand and come from over there, and we just sat and shot zombies and stuff as they made it to us. It's a small little thing, but just having a little corridor like that where you can fight and shoot zombies is kind of fun. And then as you see, a lot of breakdown stuff. Really cool to come through and see everything. Of course, you see all the zombies and stuff in the way. Of course, there's a ton of military people. You have all this stuff here. And again, I'm not going to show everything for the POI because I want you guys to experience it yourself, because I believe you guys will have a lot of fun with this, because I know we did. And it's really well put together too. It is a very well put together POI, and there's a lot of places to store vehicles, a lot of places to store workstations and stuff like that. Like if you knock these down, you could actually just have this be a normal little garage and pull vehicles around through and up this and have this be your wherever kind of area, and you can have this entryway here be a kill corridor if that's what you decided, because it's big enough to do it. You might have to knock out some of these blocks and stuff, but anyway, all in all, this is just a really nice POI. It is a good size. It is very well put together. There's a lot of challenge with this POI, being a tier 4 with a lot of military zombies and stuff in it. And of course, you know, the higher your game stage goes, the harder the zombies are going to get. I will say the biggest downside I have with this POI is the spots like this, there's no clear, easy way to get to. We had to knock through the walls and put doors in. So spots like, you know, this little balcony back here, which is kind of cool. We actually turned this area. Sorry, let me come through here so you guys can see. So we knocked through this, and we turned this room here into what we called our bedroom. And we had the little balcony out here be our, just, you know, like come hang out. We had some turrets up here to kill birds and stuff like that, but it was mostly just hang out, chill, see the woods and stuff like that. And all the rest of this was crafting and all kinds of other storage. We had friends playing with us. They had their own little room here, but you see the main loot area is a ton of loot for you. And we also knocked out different spots in some of these different areas to have little ways out to be able to come and look. We had a bunch of turrets and stuff up here as well, shooting zombies as they ran in. So all in all, it was pretty cool. We played up to day 40 or day 50, I think, with it. And just, you know, turn it into a nice little horde base. I think you guys are going to have some fun with it. But with that, we're going to go ahead and move over to the last mod. Alright folks, so this last mod is the super cool LBX Prestige mode by DanXVR, and this is kind of a culmination of everything that has gone into all of the previous LBX mods, or at least that's how it seems to me, because it's got the workbenches, the vehicles, the super cool honey the beehive, the chicken coop. It's just got all the really cool stuff that Dan XVR has added into the game into really cool overhaul light. It changes the HUD, it adds weapons and stuff. It adds this really cool Batmobile. It adds this Toyota Celica here. It adds in a lot of really cool stuff that you guys really gonna want to check out, because it also increases the longevity of the game by giving you prestige tiers. And what that means is once you hit level 100, you enter prestige tier 1, and you can start getting these tokens to do missions and stuff like that. Over here at this table, you can turn in these tokens to get missions like this, to where you get a quest to go kill stronger and stronger zombies. And the prestige 2 is level 200, and then prestige 3 is level 300. But you see, we've got different kinds of notes and stuff where you could go do different types of stuff, and we can, meet titans and things like that. It also adds in as you see here, just the FNF tool table, where you can craft new weapons and stuff like that. And how you unlock the higher levels of these weapons is you read these EX Weapon Magazine weekly books. Did I say weapons? I'm sorry, just EX Magazine weekly books. To give you the higher craft of crafting stuff, just basically the same as the vanilla version of crafting stuff, where you have to read the progressive books. But you see, there's Briston Knuckles, which we actually have down here in our hotbar. We've got Draconic double barrel shotgun, Draconic base AK-47. There's an SMG, the Batman SMG. There's really cool Draconic Knuckles, a Neo Saber. It adds in just a ton of stuff. Like you see, it adds in the little cooking stove right here, which even gives some new resources to cook, or new foods to cook, with new tools that go in them. It adds a smelter here, which you would use to craft some really late in-game items, like this emeraldite vest is actually kind of cool, because it's a direct progression path up from what would be the base of a sapphirite vest. So you would have to have some sapphirite and a military vest, which would let you craft into, eventually, once you've crafted the sapphire vest, you could craft the rubidite vest, or rubyrite vest, I'm sorry, with some rubyrite and a sapphire vest. And then you could craft the emeraldite vest with a rubyrite vest and some emeraldite. So it's really cool how he's created this progression path to really push you forward, and keep the game's longevity going, because you now have so much more stuff to play and do and see. And it's got new resources you can see in around, like you see the rubidite, stuff like that. But the thing that I like the most are the weapons and the quests. The quests are, kind of shortish. They're really just, hey, quick, go kill these zombies. Like if we read this one here, this Prestige Notes 1, if we read it, it's going to pop up some zombies around us that we got to take out. Okay, that guy's down. We got these guys over here we got to take out. He's down. Oh, out of ammo. Okay, that guy's down. There should be... Oh, here we go. Over here. I like the way that this AK looks. We'll actually show off the icons here in a second. And you see, once you complete the quest, you actually get more tokens and stuff to be able to craft more stuff. And then there's higher levels of each one that you can do. And like the Briston Knuckles, I absolutely love, because I do love playing a brawler when, I'm playing around with Horde Knights and stuff like that. I like using the Steel Knuckles, stuff like that, to just sit there and absolutely wreck zombies' faces. But it's just really cool that everything that Dan has added in, because it's not a full overhaul like Undead Legacy or Darkness Falls or something like that. There's still a lot of room to be able to play and have fun with other little modlets and stuff that add in some small things without it being ridiculously impossible to do anything like with some Darkness Falls or Undead Legacy and stuff. Like, you can't really add in other types of modlets with them. Okay, we're gonna leave those guys alone. I was gonna just punch them to death, but no, we're not. And there are kind of cool little surprises you guys will find with some of these. But to show off what they look like, we're actually gonna come here and so you guys can see what the weapons look like. Like, I just love the way that those things look. And here's the dragon knuckles. They look pretty crazy. Here's the draconic SMG or AK. Here's the Batman SMG, and here's the nano blade. Just looks like a really sharp stick. Ooh, too close. Man, I like the look of that. It's like super thin. You know, they say that's defines the sharpness of a knife as the thinness of the blade. But all in all, I think this is just a fantastic overhaul light that does add in a good amount of stuff to really help keep, you know, your longevity in the game going. And you can tweak this with a ton of different kinds of modlets that add in new armors, weapons, enemies, and stuff like that, and really just be able to have even more fun with it, because it's not as restrictive as a full-on overhaul in terms of what you can add. And plus, you get a damn Batmobile. I mean, what's not to love about driving around in a Batmobile, right? Like, look at this. You even got the little wind stream coming out of the back of it. I will say the only downside is you see right there, the helmet kind of pops out at the top of it a little bit. But, I mean, you're driving around in a Batmobile, so you really don't have any room to complain. I just love this. Just like driving around in a Batmobile. I just think it looks super cool. And plus, you've got the Honda Celica here. We'll check out last but not least the Honda Celica, which I will say there is kind of a funny thing that happens if I can get the angle right. We're Flintstone in it. I like that. Feet dragging underneath it. Oop, wrong button. I like the fact that the feet hang out underneath it. It's just too funny to me. It's a nice little vehicle. I don't like the sound that it makes, though. I wish there was a way to change it a little bit so it doesn't sound the same as the Batmobile or the 4x4 or anything. But all in all, folks, I think you guys are really going to enjoy this. It is a very fun overhaul to play with, so make sure or overhaul light, I should say. So make sure you guys jump on, check it out. It will be uploaded on Halloween Day, so tomorrow you guys will be able to have it. For right now, I just have the XVR or the Dan XVR user profile for Nexus here, so make sure you guys get on and check it out. But with that, we are done for the week. Thanks for sticking around. Hope you guys had fun. Make sure you do all that fun stuff, like, subscribe, everything. But have fun, take it easy, and we'll see you next time.